All right, today we're cracking open one of the most talked about and, let's be honest, one of the most controversial books out there, The 48 Laws of Power. Is it a genius roadmap to success, or is it a cold, calculating guide to manipulation? Whatever your take, you can't deny its influence. So what if everything you were taught about playing fair, working hard, and being a good person is only half the picture? This book makes a bold claim that power operates by a completely different set of rules that are almost always hidden just beneath the surface. Now look, our job here isn't to say these laws are right or wrong. It's to understand the strategic mind behind them. We're just pulling back the curtain to see how the machinery of influence really works. So let's start with the absolute bedrock of power. You see, according to these laws, the path to power doesn't start with dominating other people. Nope. It starts with mastering yourself, how people see you, what you choose to say, and maybe even more importantly, what you choose to hold back. And that brings us right to Law 5, which says your reputation is everything. It's the cornerstone of your power. Think of it like your personal fortress. It can defend you when you're attacked, and it can be a powerful weapon to launch your own assaults. Just think about Julius Caesar. The book points out that his reputation for being an unstoppable force was so powerful that it could literally win battles for him before a single sword was drawn. That's real influence, making your opponents think twice before they even challenge you. This whole idea of controlling perception flows perfectly into Law 4. Always say less than necessary. And the logic is actually pretty simple. The more you talk, the more ordinary you seem. And of course, the more chances you have to say something, well, foolish. You know who was an absolute master of this? King Louis XIV. His strategic silence was a weapon. It created this aura of mystery and immense wisdom. Everyone around him was constantly trying to guess what he was thinking, which of course just gave him even more control. Okay, so you've started to master your own image. Now what? How do you handle your interactions with everyone else? This next part is all about the tricky, delicate dance of social power. Wow, this slide is just a perfect, almost painful example of Law 1, never outshine the master. Minister Fouquet thought he was showing his boss, the king, a good time. Instead, he made the king feel insecure and upstaged. And the result? It wasn't a warning, it was a life sentence. The lesson is crystal clear. Always make the people above you feel comfortably superior. Then the book hits you with this really chilling warning in Law 2. Never put too much trust in your friends. The argument is that friendship can be dangerous because friends know your weaknesses, and they are way more likely to feel a secret envy that can slowly curdle into betrayal. So if you can't trust your friends, who can you turn to? The book's answer is kind of shocking. Learn how to use your enemies. See, a former enemy who you bring to your side has everything to prove. They'll often be more loyal and work harder because they're grateful for the chance. And there's none of that messy, emotional history you have with a friend. All right, let's shift gears and get into some of the more, let's just say, Machiavellian tactics. This is all about getting proactive, about seizing control of the situation instead of just reacting to it. Law 3 is basically the art of the smokescreen. The whole point is, if people have no idea what you're really trying to do, they can't build a defense against you. You keep them guessing, you keep them off balance, and you hold all the cards. So, how do you actually do this? The book lays out a kind of 3-step playbook. First, you throw out decoys to send people down the wrong path. Second, you might even pretend to agree with them to make them feel safe. And finally, you only reveal your true move at the very last second, when it's way too late for anyone to stop you. It's all about patience. If you want to see a master of this in action, look no further than Otto von Bismarck. The guy was brilliant at playing dumb or making it seem like his opponents were running circles around him. All the while, he was quietly moving his own pieces into place and completely outsmarting them. Okay, now we come to what might be the most ruthless law of them all, Law 7. This one is about a kind of brutal efficiency. It says to use the intelligence, the effort, and the time of other people to get what you want, but always make sure you're the one who gets the credit. And the book points to a name you'll definitely recognize, Thomas Edison. Now, the guy was a genius, no doubt, but he was also a genius at branding. He built an incredible team of innovators, but he made sure that the Edison name was on everything, cementing his own legacy as the inventor. So after all these specific rules and tactics, the book builds to its biggest, most profound idea. And it's this. Real, lasting power isn't about having one rigid plan. It's about being completely fluid, totally unpredictable. And that brings us to the final law, Law 48, assume formlessness. The advice here is to be like water. You never have a fixed shape. You adapt to whatever container you're in. By constantly changing your strategy, you become impossible to predict, impossible to grab onto, and ultimately impossible to beat. And that right there, that's the real heart of it all, isn't it? The book suggests that the most powerful person in any situation isn't the strongest or the smartest. It's the most adaptable, the one who can bend with the winds of change but never, ever break. So, as you go out and navigate your own world, your job, your life, your goals, the big question this book leaves you with isn't just about which rules you're going to play by, it's about what shape you're willing to take to master the game itself.